Good morning. My name is John, and I have AuDHD. That is a combination of autism and ADHD. I've created this website and, also this um, YouTube channel because I would love to share my beliefs and experiences with communication. I see communication as being something that's quite important, especially considering that people that are considered neurodiverse, like myself, we are frequently misunderstood. And I just find it difficult. And I just thought that maybe we should start a dialogue, start finding a way to start communicating with each other. Diversity. What is diversity? A diversity is actually a representation of humanity. It represents every living being on this planet. And I believe that everyone has a story to tell. I believe that we need to talk and listen to each other and to find a way to communicate with each other. I think it's very important that we start talking and that we start building bridges, because I believe that through talking and through building friendships, the wars in the world are going to end. They're going to stop. Starting with one individual and moving on to two, to three, sharing it with your family, and building and growing your own diversity. How do you grow a diversity? You grow a diversity simply by being kind. You say hi to your neighbor. You just take one step forward and do something just a little bit different than what you've done in the past. You'll be a little kinder to your neighbor. You say hi. You take some time just to get to know somebody. Just have a small conversation. Um, you don't have to make it a lengthy, drawn-out dialogue. You just have to start talking and start finding out who each other is. Find out that your neighbors are a lot more like you than you really think they are. And they might even be somebody that could become a friend. You might even be able to socialize with someday. I have a neighbor that's what we did. One day we said hi, and then we just slowly started building up a friendship. And sometimes, our dogs absolutely love playing with each other, and it's a lot of fun. But diversity is about getting to know people, getting to know their story. And like I said, it can start with a simple hi. That's all it takes, is just say hi. And when we start doing that, it can and will change the world. I'd like to talk just a little briefly about what it's like to be a late diagnosed autistic ADHD individual. I was born in the 50s, grew up through the 60s, the 70s, 80s, all of that. I've been divorced, remarried, unfortunately more than once, and it is mostly a communication thing. I'll be honest with you, my first ex-wife, she's a good lady. She had an interesting way of putting it. She said the way that I treated her was like a plant, that I planted her and fed and watered her, but that I didn't treat her properly. Well, let me be honest, I don't understand how to do that. And that is the difficulties I've had most of my life, is trying to figure out how to fit in. And that is something that is very important to me, is to be able to fit in. So I spent many years masking and trying to pretend that I was, as we call them, neurotypical. In other words, the normal type of a person, because we find that people tend to be able to read the social cues and understand each other. I don't. I don't understand the subtleties. I do much better with a direct communication. I do much better with explanations. When I was growing up, I always asked the why And when I got an answer, I was perfectly willing to follow it. I had no problem with following and complying with rules as long as I understood what the reason was. So it's something I was asked today. Unfortunately, it drives my wife crazy right now. I feel so bad. So I'm trying to curb that and trying to find answers in other ways. I'm also trying to learn how to communicate so that I can talk to her on a common language and that we might be able to put aside any concerns and differences that we have. We've been married 28 years, which is a miracle for me. It is not an easy thing, but I love her very dearly. And I want to make this work, so I'm working and trying to communicate. And I just felt like if I have a chance, not only to tell my own story, but to share the story with other people, that they also might be able to make a difference by simply trying to communicate just a little bit better. Just try. And plant your own diversity. I promise you, the world will become a better place, and it will become more acceptable to all of us, because we're all diverse. Each and every person on this planet has a story to tell. Everyone has a story to tell. So let's talk. Let's listen, and let's see what we can do about making this a better planet for everyone. And I do promise you that it will spill over as we start building it one little mountain, one little tree at a time. We can build a forest across the entire world where people will start to recognize each other as the same. That we're all humans, we're all a little different, we all have a story to tell. So please, let's talk, let's listen. Until next time.